Kelsey Soby's here. The first look at traffic. Good morning, Kelsey.
Good morning, you guys. I'm enjoying already the sun rising on our traffic in the eastbound direction. We see activity building, but we're still moving at 55 to 60 miles per hour. A little farther to the east side of town, 35. Remember, as we get to that Forest Lake split, that's where you enter that single file construction zone between Forest Lake and White Bear Lake. But again, in the northbound direction, starting last week, we got back to 2 lanes of traffic. So northbounders, no slowdowns anymore, it's just the southbounders. The south side of town still looking pretty slow. People just starting to wake up. I do have some construction news down on Highway 3 in Inver Grove Heights. I'll get to that in about 10 minutes. But right now, at 5:39, it's time for weather on the 9. Hi, Keith. It's definitely going to be more crowded out on the roadways this morning than it was yesterday. Back to the typical traffic patterns, I'm sure. Right now on I-94 in Elm Creek, a part of that typical traffic pattern is we do see more and more people heading out on those roadways, filling up the streets. But we're still moving at the posted speed up here in the Maple Grove area. Eastbounders just getting a little more crowded. That's it. Let's take a look at some of those construction zones, shall we? One of those, 35E up in the Northeast Metro. Already drivers trying to move in the southbound direction, doing so at less than the posted speed, but keep in mind in this area between Forest Lake and White Bear Lake that at least we are back to a normal amount of lanes in the northbound direction, so that could help conditions. And just so you know, this major slowdown does improve a bit as you approach County Road J. Let's look at Dowling Avenue. That has now been cleared, and the reason you're seeing this little marking down here is the Highway 100 ramp onto 394, that carpool lane, that actually is closed due to mechanical failure. If that does reopen, I'll be sure to let you know. Right now, though, Don, Jason, back to you guys.
Thank you, Kelsey. Coming up,
jam to talk about at this hour, but we are enjoying the nice sunshine you've been talking about. I-94 Cretin Avenue, even as you head in the westbound direction toward the I-94 improvement project, around 280, where we lose a lane of traffic. We're seeing westbounders still cruising right along without any trouble at all. So let's look to another spot out there, 35E, if you're heading into the St. Paul area. Southbound traffic here at Larpenteur still moving at a good clip, about 50th Avenue and continuing to 694. Get a little bit south of there and things loosen up a bit. So we're not right in the thick of the worst congestion here, but definitely already underway. Zooming right into that, when you see the orange color, we're looking at speeds of about 35 miles per hour. To the northeast again, traffic building on 61, but not too bad. And one note of construction today, Highway 3 scheduled to close. Highway 3, otherwise known as Robert Trail. That's between 70th and 80th Street down in the Inver Grove Heights area. So construction still going on, especially now that we have some nicer weather to work with. Guys?
Right, all right. Thank you, Kel.
Morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with the Fox 9 Morning News. Just in, we have a crash at 94 eastbound near Highway 101 or Highway 241. Looks like it involves a few different vehicles, literally happening just moments ago. Traffic just beginning to slow down. So as you're heading basically in between Albertville through Rogers into Maple Grove, you could see some time tacked on to your drive here in the eastbound direction, which actually we do have that single file construction zone. But again, we are back to full lanes in the northbound side. 35W southbound again is one of the slowest spots we have out there right now. 36 westbound between 35E, 35W, traffic continuing to build at this hour, but no major delays to report there. Same for 694 in the construction zone, which is good to see. We do have some construction that's closing a stretch of Highway 3 in Inver Grove Heights today. I'll get to that coming up in about 15 minutes, but right now, you will be thrilled to wake up to some of that sunshine Keith has been talking about. We're seeing it right now in our traffic cameras, a live view right now in Eden Prairie on Highway 212 at Mitchell Road. Eastbound traffic a little heavier than the westbound at this hour, and we do see it continuing to get busier. Right now, though, we're moving at the posted speed, which is nice to see. We do have a few trouble spots out there. One of those is on I-35 up by Forest Lake. Southbound traffic heading toward the split off where we have 35E moving into single file zone through that construction. Well, that is a little bit more backed up than we're used to seeing. So be prepared, a little bit of a delay. But then once you get onto 35E and are working through that single file construction zone, it's really some patchy congestion. It's not constant all the way down into White Bear Lake. Let's look at another spot out there. We do at best as you move from Albertville into Rogers, so be prepared for that. You get east of there and things do loosen up, get into the Maple Grove area where traffic builds once again. In the Northeast Metro, the other really big hot spot besides that construction zone is 35W southbound, backup starting at Sunset Road. The south side of town still not too shabby. We had one stalled vehicle on 35W at 76th Street, but that was in the southbound direction. Looks like it's pulled off the main line. So far, so good on this end of town. I'll have another update, of course, in the 7 o'clock hour. Right now, though, let's get back over to Tom and Alex.
All right, thank you.
Tuesday to you. Yesterday, being that it was a holiday for many of you, made it so that the roads weren't quite as busy. Today, a different story. Definitely a lot of crowding out there, and we do have a couple crashes at this hour. Up in the North Metro, this is 35W at Lexington Avenue. Travel already slowed down this far north. We do have a crash related to that as well here at 35W and Highway 96. So southbound traffic maybe even a little slower than we're used to seeing. Now, I give you a flash of another time, but otherwise just know things do improve once you reach Rogers. Let's go to our map, check out the map right now, see how the Northwest is looking as we're shaping up. Again, I told you most of that congestion is as you're approaching the Rogers area. Once you actually get there, that's where things improve. Even into Maple Grove at that 94-494 split, things there looking great. Now a little bit to our east, though, 35W continues to be slow, and we also have a report of a crash on 101 just before 94. I looked at the cameras through Elk River. Some minimal slowdowns, definitely a little congestion surrounding that. Hopefully we'll get that situation taken care of soon. 169 slow going from 610 through Brooklyn Park all the way down into New Hope. No crashes reported in that area. Just looks like a lot of people trying to travel the same route at this hour. East side of town looking good through Woodbury. We had a crash on 10th Street at 694. Looks like that's off the main line, or at least not slowing anybody down. And the Southwest Metro, you're seeing some orange spots here. That's where we know it is busiest, and we are at 713. So definitely moving in that heart of rush hour, guys.
All right, thank you, Kelsey.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with the Fox 9 Morning News. Well, it's Tuesday. We're coming off of a holiday weekend, getting back to work, and we're definitely a little more crowded out on our roadways than we were yesterday. So let's dive right in. A few things you want to know as you head out the door. You're going to see some delays on Highway 10 eastbound as you pass through the Blaine area. Starts jamming up around Airport Road and continues on to get past the situation at County Road J. It looks like eventually the one vehicle on this side was cleared away. So now just two left on the west of Highway 101. So really right now, slow down still through Albertville into Rogers, and then at 101 things start to loosen up a little bit. Also some good news, a crash reported in Elk River in the southbound direction of Highway 101 just before that 94 junction. That has been cleared as well. A little bit farther to the northeast, again, that's probably our biggest jam up spot. We also have some slow moving traffic 694 westbound between 35E and 35W. We have had worse though, considering that it has been a heavy spot for some construction. 94 westbound through Woodbury looking good into Maplewood. Actually, we're cruising along quite well all the way west of Highway 61 if you're heading to the St. Paul area. And 35W northbound, heaviest traffic between the Burnsville split and the Minnesota River Bridge, but so far no crashes down here. That's nice to see. We do have one stalled vehicle in Richfield on 35W at 76th Street. Keep in mind down in Inver Grove Heights today, closing is Highway 3 or Robert Trail. That's between 70th and 80th Street. We're taking another break here from the Fox
Success Story, and Kelsey Soby joins us now to tell us about the return of the swan.
Yes, we're talking about the trumpeter swan, and maybe when you guys were younger, when we were all younger, don't remember really seeing any trumpeter swans out there. They weren't there, but they are making a comeback where it's not uncommon for a Minnesotan to have never seen one, and the reason is that the trumpeter swan disappeared from our state in the 1880s because early U.S. settlers hunted the large bird for its meat, feathers, and skin, which was actually turned into products like Lay's Powder Puffs. But yes, they are making a comeback. Privacy here at the zoo. The swans have actually reproduced here just as well as they have out in the wild. All they need is plenty of natural shoreline, some vegetation, plus they have the added help of a little extra protection. The $514,000 used for this repopulation project came from checkoff donations, and that's the money that you guys donate when you check it on your tax return that you want to give to those conservation efforts. Many organizations work together to pull off this success story, including the DNR, Minnesota Zoo, and Three Rivers Park District. So definitely a big effort. And I'm talking to the guys involved. Yeah. They like, check out these photos. We had hair back then. I mean, it's been a life project for them.
Right.
Really exciting news.
No kidding.
Oh, it's great they could be around to see it.
Yeah, and they get their name because that great sound. They make that kind of almost trumpeting sound as they're flying. It's really.
We sat there for a while trying to capture that a few times in there. Very cool to see.
Very neat. All right, thanks for bringing that to us.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, Keith Marler.
Had a bit of a break from traffic congestion yesterday as it was a holiday for many of you and didn't have to make the trek between the busy hours of 5 and 9 a.m. But today, it's definitely slow going, not just because more people are back out on the roadways heading to their work destination, but because of a few crashes. This is one thing we definitely didn't need on I-94. This is in the St. Paul area near Western Avenue. A crash at first was blocking one of the center lanes. Looks like that far left lane of traffic still blocking. When that happens, we see things even slower going than when we just have it on the shoulder. So a little bit of each until we get that cleared away. I would definitely expect things are going to be jammed up here just west of St. Paul. Now east of St. Paul, another situation, a crash near Highway 52. Things slowed down here. So westbound traffic really slowing even east of Highway 61. So if you're traveling westbound 94, expect delay into Rogers. Well, we had a crash near Highway 101 that got things really backed up. That has been cleared, it looks like, or at least it's off the main line. We do see traffic still slow going through Albertville and then improving once you reach 101. A little bit more centered on 35W Highway 10. We did have a crash earlier near County Road J. Looks like that's been cleared, but still a residual effect from that. A lot of orange and red indicating some slow speeds. A look at the Southwest Metro. No crashes except on Highway 13 and 101, not blocking the main highway area, but you could expect some minor delays through there. I'll keep my eye on that situation for you and get back to you in about 8 minutes. Right now, though, guys, back over to you.
All right. Thank you, Kels.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fox 9 Morning News. I'm Kelsey Soby. It's another Tuesday. Yesterday, many of you enjoyed a day off, and today it's back to reality at work and back to reality on our roadways. 94 westbound, after a few different crashes all at once or around the same time in St. Paul. A few have been cleared, so now that the westbound flow has improved a bit here. One of those crashes here near Western Avenue was cleared, but not before making things a little bit complicated as you're heading. Even this is just east of St. Paul at Highway 52. This where another crash was reported. Looks like all the crashes themselves are cleared, or at least off the main line, but westbound traffic still slow. It gets backed up starting at McKnight Road. Let's look at one other here near Albertville. Well, really around Highway 101 is where it happened, and things are easing up a bit as you get east of there, but still some backups around Highway 241. 169 southbound, some congestion, especially between 610 down into the New Hope area. We did have a crash reported at 169 and 610 itself right at that junction, but I looked at it, didn't look like we were seeing a lot of complications as a result of that. Looking at 694, some heavy traffic in the westbound direction through that Highway 10 construction zone. On the south side of town, we do have a crash reported Highway 13 and 101. Checked out that jam cam though, and I'm not seeing any major delays, so no need to worry about that for now. We're taking a quick break, but stay.
We're glad to hear that little boy has finally made it out of hospital.
Yeah. Kelsey Soby is in now. We're looking at our traffic on this Tuesday. It feels like a Monday.
It does, and I'm sure for a lot of you out there area that would make sense, as many of you are finding your final destinations in Minneapolis. 100 southbound, some slow moving traffic through Robbinsdale, even 169 without any crashes really to blame. We do have some added congestion from New Hope down to 394. By the way, if you travel Highway 100 northbound as you're approaching that 394 eastbound carpool lane, that's closed today due to some mechanical failures. 35W southbound slow going starting at 95th Avenue. Highway 10 eastbound still trying to rebound after a crash near County Road J. And looking a little bit farther east and south, a pretty typical day on 494 and the crosstown. We do have a crash at 13 and 101, but I'm not seeing any real problems resulting from that. So enjoy that sunshine on your way to work. Telling us more about how long it'll last is Keith Marler. Hi, good morning to you. 59 through the New Hope area all the way down to 394. And by the way, if you're traveling Highway 100 and you're used to using that carpool lane 394 eastbound, that is closed today due to some malfunctioning equipment. To the northeast a little farther, we're looking at 35W southbound, still slow going starting at 95th Avenue. The biggest jam up right at the junction of Highway 10 35W. But as we get closer to 9 o'clock, that will definitely ease up. 36 westbound, a crash near 35E. That's why we're seeing a little bit of that added traffic. So be prepared. 35E and 36, both looking like they still are moving at about 30 miles per hour now instead of 55, 60 that we'd like to see. Again, just a reminder, this is one of the traffic cameras we looked at where we have that crash just east of Highway 61, and that has been slow going throughout the morning. So as you get west of St. Paul, still congested, and then of course you enter that construction zone starting at 280. So just kind of a mess in the 94 corridor. To the southwest Metro 494 and the crosstown, heavy traffic, but pretty typical traffic patterns there. 212 eastbound, still heavy at this hour through Eden Prairie, but we're not seeing stop and go conditions at least. And I think things will just continue to wind down. Hopefully we'll get those last few crashes cleared here quite quickly. All right, right now let's get back over to Alex.
All right.